So just real quickly, some of the definitions. O&M, operations and maintenance, a lot of folks, that's the same thing. It's actually two different components. Okay? Operations involves ensuring that the facility's infrastructure and how it is used and managed provides a satisfactory work environment. So that's operations. So that's anything to do with the physical use of the building. So that's going to include your janitorial. Operations is going to include all your crafts that supports your service calls. All that's part of the operations portion, okay, of those two, operations and maintenance. So anything to do with the customer or the tenant in that building is going to be associated with the operations. Okay? Maintenance, on the other hand, deals with ensuring that all the elements of the infrastructure are serviced so they operate efficiently and are reliable and safe. So the maintenance component on operations and maintenance is to do with the physical side of the building. That's all to do with the equipment, including the walls. You think this wall here needs maintenance? I want to paint it once in a while. And if there's a hole, I want to patch the hole. The base cowl is peeling off. I got to get that fixed. Okay. So everything to do with the interior side of that building, FF&E, furniture, fixtures, and equipment, is going to require some sort of maintenance plan. Okay. So some folks think, gosh, if I got into an operations and maintenance department, I would have a lifelong job. Chances are you probably would. Okay, because the building, if you're going to maintain the asset and maintain the capital for the company or the corporation, it's going to require regular, constant maintenance. Now, building infrastructures is everything that has within that building that support the building operations. So these could be exterior elements such as, interior elements such as furniture, modular furniture, classroom furniture, believe it or not. These chairs are probably on some sort of maintenance program. We'll check with ASU when we check them. Such as the legs, all the screws tightened up, the tables are wobbly. All those are going to have a maintenance program. Proxima overhead computer's going to have a maintenance program to that, or it should. Okay, where you come in and you do a periodic check. And they probably do that in the classrooms every morning of some sort to make sure that the computers are functioning, the Proximas are functioning, and so on. Because again, what's ASU's business? How does ASU make their money? Selling education, right? So the more students they have in courses and classes just like this with the systems operating, right, so they're going to turn around what cash? It's going to be a profit. General Dynamics is no different. Okay? Same thing with American Express or Discover Card or America West Arena or the Cardinal Stadium. Okay? Okay. Also it's going to require infrastructure support. Okay? Now, the infrastructure also includes exterior, such as you have, believe it or not, metal storage sheds or inventory sheds. That's part of the infrastructure too, because it supports the building. Parking garages is going to be associated with the infrastructure. So you consider a parking garage. What could a parking garage need in maintenance? It's all concrete, right? The lights from within, right? The parking stalls, okay? The parking stalls would be that. Good, okay? The what? The gates, security gates, especially if you've got the activating gates, right? Okay? Security, cameras, if you've got closed-circuit television cameras. Lighting's going to be those. The emergency pole for emergency calls, right? What's the worst thing you can do to concrete? What's the one simple agent we drink every day? Water destroys concrete, doesn't it? So part of the parking garage, making sure it's sealed. What other items destroy concrete? Heat, the contraction, okay? All the petroleum products from the vehicles, right? The oils, antifreeze, automatic transmission fluid. Well, parking garage, believe it or not, it's just a big old concrete. Patrick, why do we need a maintenance program for this? Well, it's the reason why. I want to maintain this parking garage, because if it's no longer viable, where it's safe and it's condemned by the city, I can't park cars anymore. What did we park here? What did we charge here at ASU to park a semester?
Well, it depends where.
Someplace close, right? Thank God I got 89C. That's all I got to say, right? But if you, $700, right? A semester. That's a semester.
That's a deal, isn't it?
Whew. I'm going to make sure that every one of those parking stalls is available for parking. That's $700 a car. So I can just watch every car. I mean, if you imagine if I got like $10 every car, I'd be a millionaire, right? I'd love that job. But again, it's maintenance. I've got to maintain not only the life expectancy of the parking garage, but it's also its use. Okay. See, just got a couple more slides here. Okay. And again, just some of the challenges. Okay. The building stock is aging at a rate, okay, much faster than is being replaced. So the existing buildings, once you build the building, typically a building's life is 30 years or more, minimum 30 years. Okay? So in those 30 years, it has an entire maintenance program associated to that. But we have more 30-year-old buildings or older than we have new construction, by far. So every building we build, and you leave that job site and you move your construction trailer to the next job site, that building that you just built and finished and topped off is going to stay there for another 30 years. And that building after that, and that building after that. Okay? And every one of the buildings that are associated to that, schools and campuses, okay? Rent-a-cars, airports. Imagine being in an airport. How about a prison? Aren't you glad that those cells lock at night, right? There's a maintenance program on that, right? Oops, you know what? We forgot the maintenance and we had a couple prisoners escape. No, I don't want that in my neighborhood, right? So again, some of those things are critical. How about Palo Verde? Nuclear generation facility out in West Phoenix. What do you think? Going to sleep at night. They have a good maintenance program? They have to, right? The NRC is a requirement. A few years ago, there was some audits that identified that the Palo Verde nuclear generation station was almost ready to lose its certification due to lack of maintenance. That's a scary thought. If you think about what could be the consequences of that, okay, occurring. Typically, buildings, okay, were constructed inexpensively, okay, back what they just built them, whatever materials they had, right? Okay.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So these buildings are like a frame structure, or are they like
Any building, steel, wood, masonry, concrete, if it's tilt slab, anything to do with the structure that either houses a product or, tenants, individuals, okay, or for inventory, such as for a storage facility, okay. And again, inexpensive as quickly as possible 30 to 40 years ago. So if you think about the buildings built in the 70s, when energy was at energy at that time, we peaked. What was gas prices in the 70s? It was like 40 cents. It was outrageous. Now we pay $3.40 and never even blink an eye anymore, right? But part of that energy was sealing those buildings. We don't want any of my cold air leaving and any of my hot air leaving, right? So they sealed those buildings airtight, which brought on indoor air quality issues, okay? So again, what had another consequence, and they logged that back to improper maintenance for those particular buildings, okay? Quality and maintainability issues were left to those selected to manage the building. Remember when I talked about facilities management? It wasn't actually a true profession until 1979. So if you think about maintaining a facility that was built maybe in 1968, you really didn't really have a bona fide facilities organization. It's just whatever I think I need to do to make sure that, one, the tenants are comfortable and the building's operating. That was it. That was prereqs. Other than that, if the equipment failed, you just replaced it. But think about what the average dollar was back in 1968. What could you buy for $1 in 1968? And I don't want to hear nobody saying, I wasn't born in 68. Okay? Well, I guess I probably would have a few. Okay? But $1 in 1968, bought a whole tank full of gasoline just about if you had a small tank. Groceries, you could buy a whole cart full of groceries like for $4, right? The average cost of a house in 1968 was probably $8,000 to $9,000. That was it. A decent, 1,400 square foot. So the cost of the dollar back then was very inexpensive. So if I had a piece of equipment or capital, or roof fail, so what? It's only $800 or $2,000. Just replace it. Well, as inflation hit, the cost of money, okay, escalated. Now it brings on a whole different dimension on that. I want that roof to last as long as possible. If it's 20 years, I want that roof to last 30. If that piece of equipment is going to last 40, I want it to last 60 years. Again, I want to minimize my capital outlay. And again, maintainability programs are part of that. Okay? And then knowledge of how the building operates is key. So making sure that we apply the technology to the proper building, such as a lot of renovations. You renovate, say, for instance, a movie theater and you want to convert it to a hospital. For one, it's not going to have the infrastructure for the air conditioning. to support a hospital suite, or the power. Okay, so again, you got to look at what the building was originally intended for and how you're going to operate and maintain that particular building. Okay.